What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Joyetech AIO. Alright guys, so a few of you had asked me to do a full review of this device here, the Joyetech AIO. I know I'm a little bit late to the game, and all the other reviewers have already gotten their videos done about this device here, but I just wanted to kind of give you my final thoughts on it. I had mentioned it earlier in one of my vlogs a few weeks ago, but I'm finally able to now sit down and talk about it in full detail. I've gotten to know this thing a little bit better now, so I feel very confident to be able to give you my final thoughts on this device. Now, before we get going with this video, I do have to state my intent by saying that I did buy this with my own money. However, for the purpose of this video, my opinions will remain honest and unbiased. With that being said, I'm trying to get all my VPX footage together and get that out to you guys as soon as possible. So this video is going to be pretty quick, but I feel like this will give you a really good idea about this great little device here. Instead of covering all the specs on the device in this scene here, we're actually going to go down to the close-up view and get started with that. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have our AIO AIO by Joyetech, and I really like the simplicity of the packaging. No frills in this packaging whatsoever. Just simple, you know, Joyetech logo, AIO AIO on the side there. You know, the standard logos everywhere, their website, and a few little brief words on the back with the contents and the color description there. So let's get into it. Let's go right into the box. The first thing you're going to see is the quick start guide. Now this is pretty standard multi-language quick start guide. It's got some graphics and it's got some pictures and stuff, which are a nice touch. I really like that companies are starting to incorporate more design aspects to their quick start guides, because for a lot of people, I mean, including myself, I'm a visual learner, so I learn better using pictures and stuff like that. You have your AIO itself, but we're just going to put that out of the way briefly. Next up, we have this little box here, which contains, first thing, a clear acrylic drip tip. Nothing fancy about that, so we're just going to put that aside. A 2-pack of their BF atomizers, or the Cubus atomizers. As you can see, I used mine already. I'm on my second one now in the tank that I got it in there. So that's no good to us anymore. And a USB mini or micro cable. I forget what this one is. But you probably have a whole bunch of these things laying around the house already. So that's nothing new. The industry has been using these same cables for the longest time, and that's what you're going to get with pretty much any starter kit nowadays. So that goes back in the box. We'll put that aside. Now this is actually pretty important. This is their little filling guide. I feel like a lot of people are going to miss the point when it comes to filling this device. Instead of filling it halfway up like it's showing here, they're probably going to end up filling it all the way up, which is definitely not a good thing. So this one little yellow piece of card is very important. And finally, last but not least, we have our warranty information in case something goes wrong. You have your little warranty card, and on the back it's got the little authenticator, scratch and check little symbol there. So yeah, nice and simple. Alright guys, so here it is. Here's the actual AIO Joyetech AIO. So let's just go ahead and get started with the specs on this thing. So first of all, it is 4 3/4 of an inch long by 3/4 of an inch in diameter, including the drip tip. 19 millimeters in diameter, which fits perfectly. I have to say, it fits perfectly in the battery slot to my J stand by J-Wraps, which is a really cool thing. It's an all-in-one design. It's all one piece, so it's kind of like a hybrid style. Tank doesn't come off or anything like that, which is definitely going to be helpful when it comes to durability. So it's a simple one-button design. So 5 clicks on, 5 clicks off. Ooh. Okay, yeah, it's hard to see the LED in the bottom there, but now my device is on. There you go, you can kind of see it a little bit better. And so yeah, it's a one-button design, which makes it super simple for beginner vapors or anything like that tend to get confused when it comes to menus and settings and all that good stuff. It has a 2 mil juice capacity, which is going to be plenty enough for most people. If you're using the sub-ohm coil on it, it's not going to last quite as long. However, the 1 or 1.5 ohm coil, that should be pretty much a day's supply. It has a 1500 milliamp hour battery, which is also pretty much all day for people using the higher resistance coils, or especially newbie vapors. I think that's going to be pretty much an all-day battery for them. However, it is USB charging right there on the side, and you can use it while it's charging, so it's a pass-through. It utilizes the Cubis leak-proof cup-style coil design, which I'll just show you that real quick. So there you go. There's the cup style design for the coil. As you can see on the outside, that's going to be where your airflow is coming in. And in the middle section there with the little rubber tip gasket thing, that's going to be actually where your coil sits. And with these here on the bottom, you'll see those little tiny holes there. That's actually where your juice is coming in. And the flat piece there that's insulated is going to be where it makes contact with the device, and that's how you're going to get your connection. So these are actually the same exact coils as the Cubis. They're stainless steel 316. These particular ones that come with the device are 0.6 ohms, which is kind of weird. Only ones I've seen online are 0.5 and 1 and 1.5. So it's kind of odd that they have that odd number that kind of comes with this device here. So anyways, you might be able to see inside the little tip here is kind of like a turbo style airflow or spit back protection. It also has spit back protection. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder to see, so I'm just going to take off the actual tip itself. Hopefully that'll give you a little bit of a view inside there. Let me just roll it around, make sure you can see it. You really can't see it. Oh, maybe there's a little bit of light showing through there, but it is actually a spiral design, which is going to give you a little bit of spit back protection. And the drip tip itself fits in really nicely with the dual O-rings. There's no chance that tip is going to fall out at any given time. The other one that's included with it is okay, but it's really nothing fancy or anything like that. And just wipe that off. So yeah, that's the top piece of the AIO. I'm just going to go ahead and reinstall that on the device so I can show you the next piece, which is going to be the child-proof system. I'm not sure if that's what they're actually going for, but it is the kind of like child-proofing where you have to actually push down on this piece here. You'll notice that little gap there. So you actually have to push down in order to remove the coil, or so they say. In actuality, you could just spin this piece here on the drip tip and you're going to be able to get that tank open with no issue there. So unfortunately, the whole child-proof thing, or whatever they want to go for, not really as effective as they probably intended it to be. But that's also going to be where your airflow is. So if you spin this ring at the top here, you're supposed to be able to get a little bit more closed off of an airflow. However, I find that there's not too much of a difference between wide open, I'm using air quotes, wide open and a little bit closed off. So not too much of a difference there. So yeah, what else is there to talk about? It has overcharge protection, overcurrent protection, and over discharge protection. So basically it automatically shuts off. You know what? I think I'll show you guys a little bit cool thing that you can do with this. That's how to use the actual LED on the inside. So as you guys can see, I shut my lights off real quick, and that's because I'm going to try and show you the LED on the inside here. So yeah, it's going to take some time for my camera to be able to catch up with the focus, but there you go. As you can see, I have it set up to purple right now. So in order to change that LED, all you have to do is shut off the device by clicking the button 5 times within a 2-second period, like that, and then hold the button down for about 3 seconds, and that's going to turn on the LED. Now you can just change it by just tapping that button. You can shut it off if that's what you want to do, but it has, I believe, 8 different colors, 7 different colors. So it has 7 different colors that you can choose from. So you can kind of customize it and personalize it a little bit. and just get something a little bit different. So personally, I like purple. That's the shop color that I work at. So we're going to go with that. And all you have to do to set it is just leave it off for a second. Tap the button 5 times. And there you go. It's back on. And we're off and rolling already. So if you can read that right there, it says max with a little line pointing to either side of the tank. That's actually the max fill line for this device here, and it is almost impossible to see. Now, as I stated earlier, that little card that has the warning on it, don't overfill your tank, that is crucial because I feel like a lot of people are going to start overfilling their tanks because they're not going to be reading that card, or they're going to miss that little max fill line there. And I believe the other colored versions of this device have a little pattern that kind of goes up to that line, and I'm led to believe that people are supposed to assume that that's the max fill line. So I really wish they would have made it a little bit more clear and obvious that that was the fill line to this device here, because a lot of people are going to be filling that tank all the way up with juice, and then when they put their coil in, it's going to flood everywhere and possibly get in their USB or their switch, or button rather, or something like that. They're going to get juice all over their hands. It's not going to be a pleasant scene for anyone. But other than that, that about does it for the up close portion of the video. So let's go ahead and continue on with this video and go back to the main screen for some of my thoughts on this device. Alright guys, so let's go over some of my thoughts on this device, some pros and cons, and whether or not I would buy it. First up is the pros. My first pro is going to be the price. At an MSRP of around $20, this is going to be the perfect backup device for pretty much everyone out there. I feel like everyone should go out and buy one of these devices as a backup, because there are some times when you want to bring a vaporizer with you, but you're not sure if they're going to be allowed or whatever. So if you're going to like a concert venue or on an airplane or something like that, and you're worried that you can't bring your full setup or anything like that, you're worried it's going to get lost, stolen, damaged, taken away, whatever, then buy one of these, because 20 bucks, fill up the tank, and you're good to go. I mean, this is the perfect little secondary vape or something like that for an experienced vaper. It's also going to be a great way to get started in the vaping world. If you want to try vaping without investing too much money, and you don't want to go with one of those Blue or Views or any one of the other big tobacco vaporizers out there, then this is absolutely the way to go. So my second pro is going to be the solid construction. This thing is built like a tank. You can drop it, you can throw it around, you can leave it in your pocket and stuff like that, and it's not going to be damaged. I like the one-piece body design. A lot of the problems plagued with earlier starter kits and things like that are the tank threads onto the base or the battery, and that is a weak point in the actual structure of the device. With this thing here, it's all one piece. So with that, you don't have to worry about it bending or anything like that in your pocket. So great design on this. I really love how solid it is, and I'm really not worried if I throw it around, you know, my room or something like that. Not worried about it. This is a take anywhere type of device. My third pro is going to be that it is a good starting point for mouth to lung users. I'm a couple years removed from the whole mouth to lung thing, but I'm kind of starting to get back into it. I actually have some 6 milligram liquid in here, and I haven't vaped 6 in quite some time. This is kind of along the same lines of like a Juul or something like that. This is actually cheaper than a Juul, which is a good thing there. The battery lasts longer, it holds more liquid, you can put your own liquid in there, it's an open system and all that. So this is a great way to get started in the vape world without spending an arm and a leg. For a $20 device, I mean, this kicks the crap out of anything else on the market as far as I'm concerned. The LED in here, inside the tank, as you saw in the close-ups, is a great way to be able to determine how much juice you have. I use this a lot when I'm driving, so when I'm in the car and it's late at night or something like that, and I can't see how much liquid is in the tank, all you got to do is just tap the button and it's going to light up about a second after you press that button, and there you go. You can see how much juice is in your tank. So it's very convenient for, you know, if you're vaping in your room at night or on the couch or something like that, you can't see. there you go. It's got a built-in LED light to help you out with that. And I know that's not part of the design or anything like that. I'm pretty sure the manufacturers didn't take that into consideration, but it definitely helps. My final pro is going to be the battery life. I started using this thing a couple weeks ago when I got it originally. Like, it was a couple days after I got it that I did the original video on it, the original little sneak preview. So I used it for about a week intermittently. Now, this is not my main rig, but I used it intermittently for about a week, and the battery was more than halfway charged still. So this thing, and not only that, it also charges up really fast. I think it takes about 2-3 hours to charge it up completely, all the way from being dead. So that is going to be a big factor for me too that I really like. Now, moving on to some cons, I do have some cons to mention about this thing here. My first con is going to be the airflow options. Now, they say that there's a certain point when you spin the top piece here that kind of cuts down on the airflow a little bit, but honestly, it is barely noticeable at all, if at all present. I've spun the airflow several times, and I don't really see any difference in restriction on the airflow itself. Now, with that being said, it is decent for a mouth-to-lung inhale, and you can also direct lung inhale on it if you carb your mouth a little bit. Actually, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to demonstrate both. Now, first up, I'm just going to do a standard mouth-to-lung hit. All right, so now I'm going to carb my mouth and do a direct lung inhale. So this device actually encompasses both styles of vaping. I mean, I can get used to this, whether it be mouth to lung with the carb and getting a little bit more of a hit out of it, or if I want to be a little bit more stealthy, then I can just do a mouth to lung inhale. However, the airflow options, like I mentioned, still isn't really too prevalent. The child-proof design is going to be my second con. Really, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. As I showed you in the close-ups, you can see how it can easily be kind of overridden just by spinning on that mouthpiece there. And I don't know, I think it makes a difference to some people. Maybe if you had kids around and you really didn't want them getting into your device, then okay, yeah, I can see that. But bottom line is, you should be responsible and not leave this around children, period. That's all there is to it. So I feel like manufacturers shouldn't have to cater to irresponsible people, if that makes any sense to you. My third con is going to be the fact that only sub-ohm coils are included in the original package. Now, I was a little bit upset. I really expected to see like a 0.5 ohm and a 1 ohm or something like that in the package, but when I discovered that they were both 0.6 ohm coils, I was a little bit bummed out. I'm not even gonna lie. I really want to try out the 1 or 1.5 ohm coils. They seem to be like the way to go when it comes to this style device here, especially for using it with mouth to lung. I have a friend, or a few friends actually, that use this device with the higher resistance coils, and they absolutely love it. So I really want to try it out for myself. The shop that I work at doesn't carry the 1 ohm coils, and a few other shops I've been to don't carry them. So a little bit bummed to see that. I really wish that either more shops carried the 1+ ohm coils, or that it just came with them to begin with, because I really want to try it. The 0.6 ohm coils that are in it are a little bit too warm for me for a mouth to lung inhale. So unfortunately, I gotta say that's definitely going to be a con for me personally. And my final con is going to be the fill line is nearly impossible to see, and it's a little bit confusing, especially for newbie vapors. As you can see, I have the black version here. However, the white and red, black and red, etc. versions have a little bit of a design on the side, which kind of goes halfway up the tank. And I'm assuming that's where the fill line is supposed to be. Not everyone's going to understand that fact, and I feel like people are going to be filling up their whole tank and then trying to put the cap on, and it's going to spill everywhere and flood, get in their USB connection and their button and things like that. It's just going to be really messy and a little bit more of a hassle, especially for newbie vapors. So that could use some work. I feel like if they were to come out with a newer version of this, maybe a slightly updated version, that would be one of the things that I would recommend them changing, maybe make a little bit more noticeable line or something like that to be able to kind of warn people that you should not overfill it. But other than that, I love this device, which brings me to my final point, which is whether or not I would purchase it. Obviously, I would purchase it, as I did purchase this with my own money. But yeah, I really, really love this device. I use it, like I said, intermittently in the car, things like that. If I want to stealth, or if I don't want to be obnoxious or anything like that, and I don't want to cloud out my bedroom, this is what I use. It's great for any occasion. As I mentioned in the pros, if you're bringing it to a concert or something like that, where you're worried that you're going to drop it, break it, lose it, whatever, then this is definitely a good option for you guys. I feel like everyone out there that's watching right now should go and pick one up. Bottom line, everyone, all of you guys out there, go and pick one of these up. It's a great device. It's 20 bucks. You really can't go wrong with it. So anyways, guys, that about does it for this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Of course, leave comments in the box below of what you think of the Joyetech AIO, whether it's a good choice for you, whether you have one, if you like the 0.6 ohm or 0.5 ohm coils or the 1 ohm coils, anything like that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, guys. So make sure to drop a comment down there and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. With that being said, make sure you check out the advocacy links in the description. I got them down there for you so you can fight for your right to vape. And check me out on all my different social media pages. I have Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow me on there. Like my page on Facebook. Check out my Snapchat. And if you want to fund me, then you can check out my Patreon as well. So that about does it, guys. And as always, vape on. AIAIO.